the social sciences at St John's are the part of the curriculum where we look at how people interact with the world. It starts off in year 9 and 10 with social studies and with junior economics in year 10, and then carries on into the senior school where it's broken up into accounting, economics, history, geography, classics and tourism. Some of those subjects can be taken from years 11 to 13, and classics and tourism can be taken in the senior school from years 12 and 13. So the social sciences are essential in the modern world, because what the social sciences do is put the people into the important parts of what we understand. By understanding how people interact with the world, how people interacted in the past, and how people interact with the means of production, we can understand what people are likely to do and have a better understanding of the way that they interact with the things and places that go on.
And in history, we've got 5 or 6 skills that we go across the levels from year 11, 12 and 13. We look at researching information, so looking for information both here at the library, here at school, on the internet, and we utilise the university library and other resources. We look at using that information to put forward an argument and to back up that argument using evidence. So you're given some text, or you're given cartoons, or you're given something to look at, and you've got to extract the information from that, looking at how reliable it is, how useful it is, and just being able to figure out what's going on, what does it mean, so what's the point to it. That leads on to things that, like looking at different perspectives, so evaluating the perspectives by year 13, so evaluating the perspectives, even looking at perhaps whose is more valid, and putting forward an argument as to who's got the better argument or who's got the better perspective, and explaining why using evidence.
Geography is all about examining the world and our place in the world. And teachers think it's incredibly important for students to understand what's happening in the world, what's going right in the world, what's going wrong in the world, and also understand what we've got to do going forward to make things sustainable and look after the future generations and the planet itself. Okay, well, if you're a student who enjoys group work, presentations, research projects, finding out and learning about what's going on in the world, trivia, general knowledge, facts, statistics, that sort of thing. If you enjoy all those sort of things, then geography is a good option for you in the senior school. Geo is all about studying people and places, different regions of the world, and we look at topics such as natural disasters like earthquakes and volcanoes and tsunami, that sort of thing. We look at different countries. We look at different cities and processes involved in those cities. So yeah, it all comes down to individual people, groups of people, and the places where they live.
So economics is the understanding of how people make decisions. It's why people do the things they do. And with enough group of people, or a big enough data set, we're then able to make predictions about what they're going to do. We look at the causes for their decision making, and we look at the consequences for the decision making. And that goes from things like what a consumer might purchase in terms of their demand, or a producer might make in terms of their supply, to the decisions that governments make based around the data they have around growth, inflation, trade. And we also look at the satisfaction people get and how that drives their decision making, and the profit the firms make and how that drives their decision making. Economics is what I think is really cool. Economics is about how the world interacts with each other and with people, and how people make decisions around stuff. So we spend a lot of time looking at the outside world. We look at what businesses do, we look at what consumers do, we look at different governments, and we spend a lot of time discussing the decisions they make and how they impact on stuff. We look at a lot of current affairs, and we spend a lot of time discussing that kind of stuff as well. So economics is really fun, and over the years our students have done really well in economics as well. So obviously a lot of the students that take economics go on to do business or commerce at university. And they do really well. We have a lot of our students right now at Business Management at Waikato University. But also a lot of students do take economics in conjunction with the sciences and with other subjects because they see it as an important tool in their future development. And even if they're going off to do engineering or medicine or other things, understanding why people make decisions, understanding how people interact with each other really helps them in their future careers. And I had a number of students come back to me and say that economics has been really useful to them in spite of the fact that they didn't go on to do economics later. So economics has a lot of usefulness outside of the business world as well.
Economics gives a whole new perspective on society. It's pretty much the study on how different sectors of society interact, and you get a whole new idea of how the world works. I think it's a very relevant and interesting subject, and also very helpful in your future.
Oh, well, economics is it's about the world, and you you learn about why people make decisions and what makes them to do it, and it's real current. So we learn about things that like the recession that's been and what's happening in Greece at the moment, and probably the best thing is if you work hard you can do well.